Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are, whoever you are. Welcome once again to Nerd Week Live, the nerd news show brought to you by us, the folks at Nerd Caliber. I'm Rodney Brown. I'm the editor-in-chief of Nerd Caliber. I am first-person shooter on Facebook as a cosplay photographer. I am Burley_adopter on Twitter as a tech journalist, etc. And joining me tonight in a much more relaxing show, I hope, than the last 2 weeks, which has just been so insanely busy with so much news. Joining me tonight, we're going to start going counterclockwise from me, which means we're going to the head librarian, the shaved head librarian. Greg, if you would.
Hi, everybody. Greg Snyder, a.k.a. Wonder Llama, associate producer here at associate editor, associate producer, just an associate.
He's an associate. My associate.
Here at Nerd Caliber. Longtime contributor, longtime speaker of interesting random bits of trivialities and whatnots here on the Nerd Week News. There's a lot of interesting stuff to get through this week. We're actually got some cool book news, which clearly is my oeuvre. Back to you.
And Byron, sip that tea, then introduce yourself.
Hello. Byron McNeil, aka Byron D0, on various facets of the interwebs, and tea connoisseur. Contributing writer for Nerd Caliber. Sometimes I do video content. That reminds me, I need to do a write-up for Riding the Last Dragon, which highly recommend if you haven't seen it yet.
Do it quickly, otherwise others of us will jump on it.
Yep.
And Gogo, if you would.
Hi, I would like to. Hi, I'm Gogo Incognito, another longtime contributor to Nerd Caliber. Can't wait until all of us get our vaccines so that cons can happen again and I can get back on the microphone interviewing cosplayers, which is my favorite thing to do at cons. Here's an exciting thing. I have mentioned, where'd I put it? That I have been recently published. Well, it keeps happening and I'm not mad about that. So I am also a calendar girl. I'm sorry it's making all these awful noises as I get this out. But anyway, there's yours truly. Yes. If you would like to get a signed calendar, follow me or find me. Just DM me. Seriously, this is when you can slide into my DMs at gogo_incognito on Instagram.
Awesome. And just exactly the right far enough away distance so that we won't get demonetized. Yes. All right.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, super quickly, because I think only a handful of us are old enough to remember what this is. When you said that, I immediately thought of the Neil Sedaka song "Calendar Girl."
Oh,
if you know who Neil Sedaka was. Anyway.
Song.
Yeah. Go deep cut there for us old folks. Deep cut with a butter knife because we're too old to eat. Anyway, welcome to the chat, Jose Henrique. Wow, too many names. Jose, welcome to the chat. We got another Jose. Okay, so Jose Enrique and Jose Mendez, welcome to the chat. IDKK, I don't know K. K, welcome to the chat. I think that's what I'm having to go with. And other chats. I'm getting blinded by the light. Here we go. All right. We're going to go into our first topic, folks. And again, we don't have nearly as big a roster as we've had. Luminous, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. Nearly as big as roster as we had in the last 2 weeks. So we've got a little bit more time to go into, some discussion on these things. And the first one is we finally get to know when the Demon Slayer movie, Demon Slayer, the movie Mugen Train, is coming to the United States, coming to North America. That is April 23rd.
Woo!
Woohoo! You will be able to buy tickets for it. It will be only in theaters starting April 23rd. But that will include IMAX and 4DX and other things. You'll be able to get tickets on Funimation starting April 9th. For whatever various theaters it happens to be playing in. If you don't want to go to a theater on April 23rd, you haven't had your vaccinations, whatever, you can wait until June 22nd, in which case it will be available to be probably purchased on June 22nd, not rented, on Apple TV, Google Play, PlayStation Store, Amazon, blah, blah, blah. You know, the usual places where you can find this. If you don't know what Demon Slayer is, you are missing out on one of the best animes in, the last 5 years at least?
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely
maybe
one
longer.
of the best shown. Yeah, definitely one of the best shonen in many years, because it breaks away from a lot of the tropes, the tropes and trappings of traditional shonen from like the 90s and onward. Because you have a sensitive protagonist who is not who actually thinks and doesn't just go in blindly and rely solely on Deus Ex Machina.
Yep. That protagonist, I brought the image back up. It's the guy in the green and black check. That's Tanjiro. He's the lead of the show. It would be way too difficult, take too long to explain who the guy with the red eyes is. But he's a supreme badass. Let's put it that way.
Goku.
Exactly. Oh gosh, I forgot his name. Tanjiro's crybaby buddy.
Zen. I think it's Zenjiro or Zen.
Something like that. Zenitsu.
Yes.
Zenitsu is the blonde in the orange or yellow outfit in between the two of them. And he almost got me to stop watching the show. He is probably the most annoying side character ever introduced. He kind of has a little redemption and he kind of backs off a little bit, but not much. Ultimately, what keeps you going is Tanjiro and his relationship with Zenitsu and his other buddies.
Inosuke.
Inosuke, best boy Inosuke. If you've ever seen the cosplayers of the guy with the boar's head, you know, no shirt, boar's head on, that's Inosuke. And Inosuke is one of the dumbest people ever put into anime, and also one of the coolest characters. Anyway, it's fantastic. Ufotable, or I always like to pronounce it Ufotable, but it's probably Ufotable, is the animation studio, and they do one of the best uses of 3D animation to create insanely smooth flowing, which if you've watched the series, you know that means something. Sword combat animation. It doesn't look like 3D, and that's one of the best things about it. And it's
it has more of a Hanafuda aesthetic to it.
It looks like a Japanese woodcut in many cases, but that's being done with 3D, and it's just gorgeous. Can't recommend it enough, and I've been dying to see this movie. No, and I don't currently have any of my vaccinations scheduled. No, despite, come on, I've clearly got comorbidities here, but no. Anyway, so April 23rd, folks, if you can force yourself into Luminous, is this movie already out in Japan? Yes. Yep. And, in fact, it set the record for breaking $100 million of any Japanese movie shown in Japan ever. 10 days, which in Japan is insane.
Didn't it do better than In-Game in Japan?
It did for a while. I'd have to look that up. I know it has beaten out most American movies shown in Japan. I don't know if Endgame is one of them. It also has grossed $368 million in Japan and is the most successful IMAX movie ever shown in Japan. So, and by the way, all of this happened when it was released 6 months ago in Japan.
Wow.
During the height of the lockdown. It made this. IDKK. Are there other anime coming out, or any other anime coming out in general? Obviously, tons. Do you mean another season of the series? Yes. I don't know when. I don't think they've made an announcement about when there will be a season 2, but there will be a season 2 of Demon Slayer. Anyway, if Greg, if you have not seen this, and if you like anime at all,
Oh, I'm excited to see it. I have not seen it. I'm excited to see it. I don't know if we'll get it here because a lot of our movie theaters just aren't showing, aren't even open.
Yeah.
But I'm fully vaccinated. It could be really fun to go to if it actually does show up on IMAX. But I also don't know that our IMAX actually made it through the tornado. So a lot of variables.
Oh no.
Good point.
I am not vaccinated and I'm crying internally.
But I'll definitely watch it whenever I can, because I think it would be really good fun, and that's what I'm all about right now.
Yes.
Did I remember looking at the article, but I didn't catch this. Is the series available on any of the sort of the streaming services other than Funimation? Because I don't have a subscription. And
It's on Hulu.
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Okay.
Because of
and Netflix, actually.
I will check it out.
Oh, really? It's on Netflix as well?
Yes.
Cool.
Season 1 is on Netflix.
All right.
Okay.
Which is really the only season that's out there other than the movie. So,
Cool.
you would see everything that's currently in existence up to the movie if you just watch season 1.
And also, to its credit, if you're if you're lazy about reading like I am, the dub, it is pretty solid.
Yeah, it's good. I'm a sub over dub, always, but it's got a good dub. Unlike some shows, many shows, the further back you go, it does have a really solid English dub.
I always prefer the subtitles, always.
Yeah, I think the Japanese actors give more of a sense of what the author probably wanted. That's just in my mind. I don't know that for sure. Currently running, there's a fantastic anime called Mushoku Tensei, or Jobless Reincarnation, and the Japanese voice actors on there, I would have a really hard time thinking of an American voice actor who could do particularly the comedy bits as well as the Japanese guys do.
I'm actually watching the dub of that, but yeah.
All right, cool. If it does have a good dub, good for them. I would think that's a tough bar to get over for how good that is. Anyway, sticking with animated stuff, this dropped just before we went live. That is Bird Girl.
Yes!
And the news is that Bird Girl is going to be starring in a new spin-off series based on Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, on Adult Swim on Cartoon Network, starting early April 3rd, was it?
Yeah, fairly soon. Sorry, I closed that story too quickly.
April 4th. On midnight, April 4th.
Yeah.
And there's a trailer available for it. You just go search on YouTube for Bird Girl trailer, and you really get a sense of what the show is like, the comedy is like. If you were a Harvey Birdman fan, you'll probably love this. Me, not so much.
No idea what we're talking about. You may still really love this. I don't even know if there's a way. There probably is some way somehow to go back and watch the old Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, but it is dry and it punches up and it is so good.
I think you can find those on some streaming services here and there, and random episodes are available on YouTube. I'm pretty sure I've seen here and there. I wouldn't be surprised if you could find them on Hulu, because that Adult Swim is part of their.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I was never the biggest Harvey Birdman fan.
Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty dry. But yeah, when the jokes punched, they punched.
Hey, Kepra cosplays. Sorry, didn't mean to drop.
Yep. Yeah, hello Kepra, welcome to the show.
Hey.
Get out of town!
Hey.
Shut the front door! Hey, girl!
Yeah, there's no question. Harvey Birdman and Space Ghost, both from the same group of writers, animators, voiceover actors. Very specific sensibility and sense of humor. But like anything, it appeals to some people and not so much to other people.
Yeah.
But I would guess, just strictly based on the trailer that dropped today, that even if you don't know anything about any of those shows, you have no idea who Harvey Birdman was, just watching this trailer, you might think it's funny enough to stay up till midnight, have a cocktail,
You
catch an
might.
episode.
I thought it was just a really not hitting the target at all rip-off of Archer. I mean, this was an Archer sketch. It's 100% an Archer
was.
sketch.
Hey, Archer.
I got a similar vibe. I said almost the same thing.
I mean, I'm still gonna give it a try. I also am not actually that mad if it ends up being a bit of a weak sauce Archer, if it reminds me of Archer in the old days, because I loved classic Archer. I was not able to keep up with the whole, reinventing itself every season kind of thing. It lost me somewhere along the way.
Yeah, I can say I was not a big fan of the Coma 3 seasons.
Yeah.
This last season, they really got back to their roots.
Oh, yeah.
It was some of the funniest
Rock
stuff
solid.
I've seen in probably 5 years.
Oh, cool. Then I have something to look forward to catch up on.
Yeah, it's worth catching up on. And they it's very tongue-in-cheek, nod, wink, wink, all that Coma stuff.
Yes.
It's very self-referential, and they clearly know, well, you either loved it or you hated it. And if you hated it, here's some funny jokes about how bad it was.
Yeah. Natalie, welcome to the show. So I liked Space Ghost Coast to Coast, and I think my problem with that is that I think that supremely dry, sarcastic humor works better in a fake, like, TV show, interview show kind of format. And I didn't particularly like it so much in Harvey Birdman. But again, that's everybody's tastes are completely different.
Your mileage may vary.
Yep, your mileage may vary. I also liked Space Ghost better, but I did enjoy Harvey Birdman, but I loved Space Ghost. I mean, Brack all day, every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was
of all
funny
of those, the Brack show was probably the best.
Yep.
Hey, Bracky Wacky. Loved it.
Some people are watching this right now going, are they high?
Exactly. What are they talking about?
What are they doing?
Edibles night on Nerd Caliber.
Yes.
Nope.
Yes, please.
Nope. It's just those are shows well informed by the substance taking filmmakers, shall we say?
Exactly.
Yes.
So, folks, keep looking on this for 1 second while I load up an image I forgot.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I was like,
Yeah, so Brack is there. I would love to actually go back and see an episode or a season of Blue Falcon and Dynamite, which obviously Harvey Birdman was very deliberately based on. Because I haven't seen it. I mean, some of those old Hanna-Barberas, I don't even know where you can find them anymore.
I don't even know what that is.
That was from what was it? It was one of their like the Avengers shows that they did. I'm trying to think Byron, what show is that based on?
What, Blue Falcon and Dynamite?
Yeah. What was that in?
That was the name of the show.
Yeah, they had a show, but didn't they come out of one of the shows? It was like a bunch of different characters in a sketch thing.
No, I think you got it the other way around. I think they put the sketch team together after they had enough people or enough shows involved.
Yeah, I know. The show was called Laugh Olympics.
Yeah, I think that came afterwards. But somebody out there can correct me. Xander, welcome to the show. I can't remember if I said welcome to the show to Natalie, so welcome to the show. And if I say it again, welcome to the show.
Yeah, but like Captain Caveman and that whole not Flintstones, not Jetsons wing of Hanna-Barbera, so to speak.
All right, moving on from the
moving on.
pretty much ridiculous to something that looks a lot less ridiculous. That is one of the cover images from one of the books of The School for Good and Evil. And the news is that this Netflix movie adaptation of these young adult novels is just signed on Lawrence Fishburne as the schoolmaster and Michelle Yeoh as Professor Anemone, joining Charlize Theron, Kerry Washington, Sophia Wiley, and Sophia Ann Caruso. This is being directed by Paul Feig, who you either loved from Bridesmaids or hated from the Ghostbusters reboot. And the basic idea, this is from a young adult novel. Two best friends, Sophie and Agatha, are about to go to a school where fairy tale legacies go to school. You know, people who are descended from fairy tale creatures or personages. And like a sorting hat, you get sent to either the good school or the evil school. And they both assume, based on their personalities, where they're going to go, and they're both wrong. You know, the sort of good girl gets sent to the school for evil, and the, more aggressive girl, we don't want to call her evil, gets sent to the school for evil. Sounds like an interesting concept. Apparently it's an instant bestseller, they say. There are 6 books in the series. And with the people behind it, yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
That's a stellar lineup. Sounds like a
Absolutely.
somewhat interesting spin on an otherwise fairly well-trod premise or well-worn premise. But I mean, Lawrence Fishburne, Michelle Yeoh, Charlize Theron.
Yeah,
got me right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm excited for it. I really like the idea of, even if people are like, oh, that just sounds like a Harry Potter ripoff. No, sorry, but J.K. Rowling did not invent the genre.
No.
You know, the whole thing is, I mean, not to poo-poo on like the Potterverse, but you know, she didn't come up with all this. So giving us another, you know, or a new fresh storyline with magic, with youth and adults and all this, and schools that is a lot more diverse. Yeah, yes. It's 2021. Let's get that, and you know, give it a fair shot. And I mean, I'm just like, it really, Paul Feig, I have very, very, very mixed emotions on. I hated Bridesmaids. Sorry. I did. I absolutely hated it. But as long as there's at least a little bit of, I guess I want to say, sophistication to it, and it's not all yuck, then I'm going to love it.
I mean, I'm not too familiar with Paul Feig's work. All I know is, like, now that I know some of what he's done, I pray they don't get Melissa McCarthy involved, because she'll just end up chewing the scenery as she does.
Yes, she's going to try chewing the scenery up against Lawrence Fishburne. She's got a scenery chewer to fight.
Yeah, but Lawrence Fishburne actually has some capable of nuance.
Okay, I'm not going to defend Melissa McCarthy. Go look for some of the movies where she's not being either directed by her husband. Those are the movies where, you know, she's basically, that's just broad dumb comedy. She has some really heart-tearing, heartfelt moments in some of her movies. Tammy, others like that. Covey, welcome to the show. Get that popcorn.
Oh, this is exciting.
The gang's all here. It must be, we must be coming out of winter.
Exactly. People are coming out of hibernation. Sorry, go ahead.
All the groundhogs are showing their heads.
Byron's
I'm always happy to see Michelle Yeoh in anything, especially since she's broken away from the martial arts genre in recent years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in China, she's done some movies that are, I mean, they're vaguely martial arts in that they're historical dramas with fighting, but more, historical dramas with war fighting than martial arts. She's been in some absolutely beautiful, gorgeous movies.
Well, Hollywood's finally giving her due, I mean.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Awesome for that. We don't know when this is going to happen. The article doesn't have any information about when it's dropping, and they're obviously just signing casting. So it's definitely not going to be anytime real soon. Probably 2022. We'll see. Something that is happening really soon, I think it may even already be out. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. So this game is being made by Tribute Games, which 2 of its founders were involved in Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game.
Isn't Imu's involved with it as well?
Who?
Imu. Like, either they're distributing it or they're involved. They're involved in the development of it somehow, I think.
Okay, I don't see that here in this article, but I don't doubt it. There's a trailer that's already out there, a gameplay trailer. If you want to take a look at that, that's again, go to YouTube, Shredder's Revenge trailer. Oh yeah, Streets of Rage 4. Emu.
Yes.
Emu, yeah.
And much like Streets of Rage 4, they're being very ambiguous about information on it. Like, we don't have a release date yet, unfortunately.
Yeah. I guess all the stuff that I've seen about it coming out soon means the typical game soon, which could be, in April. It could be April 2022.
Or 2025, for all we know.
That if you look at the graphics, I don't think it's going to take that kind of development time.
That complex.
Yeah. But yeah, it is like Streets of Rage 4. It's a slightly 2D plus side scroller combat brawler game.
Just put it in my face.
And if you're doing that with the four turtles, think of the different combat styles you get to use. It looks a lot of fun.
Pizza
I
attack.
expect all of you guys to be playing online with me at some point.
There you go. Assuming it is a four-person and not you picking one and the others become NPCs. But that may be a gameplay style too. It may have both. Radical New Soda. Oh yeah, up to 4 players simultaneously.
Yes.
Cool.
There you go. Just like Destiny.
I call Leo.
You call Leo?
I'm Leo.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Speaking of games, though, we're going to stick with the games. And that is, if I can find, there we go. Get the article and now get the image. That is Jade Raymond, the pretty famous game developer, studio head, etc. Taken ironically during the announcement in which she announced that she was going to be the head of the Google Stadia development studio, Stadia Games and Entertainment. Well, the news is, obviously, if you've been paying attention, Google basically just cut Stadia off at the knees about a month ago. A lot of their internal developers apparently went to other places internally. Jade Raymond decided that wasn't what she wanted and wound up... the article that's on The Verge is a little inaccurate based on what the actual blog that announced this was. They say that she has developed an in-house studio called Haven Entertainment under Sony. The blog, in the blog, she calls it an independent studio that Sony has invested in. And their first intellectual property will be a new unannounced IP for the PlayStation. So whether Sony, grabbed her up and went, here, have some money in a studio, or whether she went, I'm going to start a studio, who wants to give me money? And Sony went, which was the right call. Either way, there's a new studio out there. I really, really want to read way too much into the name of the studio, Haven. Given what Jade Raymond and literally any other woman involved in game development has been through. But I know there's no announcement about that. There's no announcement about why the name Haven, so on. But I can't wait to see what it is that they're working on. This is the executive producer of the Assassin's Creed games. Like I said, Jade Raymond is not a small name in the game development industry.
Not at all. Yeah, Jade Raymond is like a rock star in the gaming industry. Yep. The fact that Sony had the foresight to scoop her up when they did.
If they
honestly,
scooped her up,
a no-brainer though, right?
Yep. Exactly. And dumb on Google Stadia for not, if she had any demands like, hey, I'd like to start my own studio. Google, do you want to fund it? And they went, I don't know. Yeah, all right. You're morons.
Well, it's not in their business model at the moment, apparently.
Yeah.
I like, so I'm just rereading the Verge article. Granted, it's a little bit of an anodyne statement, but writing about this, she said, we want to pour our passion into the project. We want to make something wondrous for people to experience. that could literally mean anything, obviously.
Yep.
But I like the idea that they're going to try and get people that are really passionate about doing something interesting, different, unique, and not just, I don't know, a Halo sequel,
Yeah.
which might be a great game, but maybe something different and new.
Which would be really surprising to see that become a PlayStation exclusive. But anyway.
Zing. Wow,
Zing.
sorry. I crossed the streams there, didn't I?
You really did. Yeah, so if you read the actual blog that they link to where she announces this, the idea of, people with passion, she basically says she's going to bring as many people that she's worked with before that are willing to come over, and so she knows what their passion and their abilities are into this new studio. So that's kind of what she means. So yeah, she could be literally plundering so many people from Ubisoft. Anyway, big news for the gaming industry. Really looking forward to this. I hope they do a lot of things and not just like one PlayStation exclusive every 4 years, but who knows? Looking forward to what they're doing. I don't know, Kay. It's not related to anything we've been seeing here, but I've got a comment on this. I've been watching Black Clover, and Xander says, I love that show. I'm sorry. Asta screaming just by episode, I think it was 11, I bailed. Could not take that. Just couldn't take it. I hear it's amazing now, but nope. So much nope. Anyway, moving on. So we have now. That was a second. There we go. Sorry about that. These are the two so far announced leads for the upcoming The Boys spin-off from Amazon Studios. This is Jazz Sinclair on the left and Lizzie Broadway on the right. I don't believe they've ever been anything together. I think this is a really good mashup that this German site I took this from made. So thank you, unpronounceable German site, for making this so I could steal it. So we don't know what the name of this is. We do know the name of the characters. Jazz Sinclair, who you may remember from Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And Lizzie Broadway, if you've seen this, you may remember from the American Pie Presents, and I can't remember the full title, but it's one where all the leads are now female characters. They're all young women. So I kind of support that, the idea of letting a movie get their letting women get their raunch on in a raunch movie.
Yes.
But that's the only thing I could see that she's been in that anybody might have possibly seen. The gist of this is it's set in a college, the only college in the United States that is for super-powered individuals. The college, of course, is run by Vought, because Vought runs everything in the United States related to the supers in the boys' world. All of the people behind the scenes are the same people from The Boys. So if you like that series, or if you can stand that series, which are two different things,
Fair.
then you will probably like this and maybe be able to stand this. They are definitely giving it, it is R-rated, it is as raunchy, as violent, as gory as The Boys is, except in this case, instead of it being, corporate superheroes and, international violence, it's college.
Okay, so my first thought, this is an R-rated Boku no Hero.
Yeah, all right, kind of, yeah. Wow.
And I was thinking this could be an incredibly bloody, violent American Pie.
Also an accurate
Yeah,
comparison.
I was my brain was on the same level as Greg's there, which happens often. That's cool. But yeah, I mean, I can see the mix of the two for sure. I guess because it isn't anime. This is live action isn't animated. I went to American Pie. I mean, I think it could be interesting. I don't know. I mean, I really had trouble standing The Boys. Okay, you can throw tomatoes at me now. It's fine.
Nope.
But yeah.
I mean, anybody that likes Harvey Birdman is okay.
Exactly.
I might get, I might give this a try, but then again, I don't know, college students, they could be more annoying. Who knows?
That is a very good point.
Yeah.
Although the idea of a CW show with the boys level sex, gore, and violence, maybe, I might be into that. I don't know.
It depends on how it's done. I mean, I feel like it could just be Porky's, which was when we were of an age where that was first out, because we're old. That kind of thing was funny just because it was like, oh look, now they're doing more sex. Okay, yay. But if it's just that, if it's just okay, teen angst, some sex, and then somebody punches someone's head off, that gets old fast.
Yeah, I mean, our Riverdale. What's it? Not Rivendell.
Riverdale.
Riverdale.
Please, CW, make that. Make
Rivendell with lots of sex. Hot elf on elf sex.
Teenage elves in Rivendell. Oh, please.
Please, CW, if you're hearing us, we will watch that.
We will watch. I think actually it would have to be Amazon because they basically have locked up the Tolkien rights. Not to that though. Not to that.
If their Second Age Ring series is a hit, could be a spinoff.
I smell a spinoff. Sorry, Gogo, you were talking about Riverdale.
Riverdale, it definitely had, it highly sexualized high school students. And, I'm just saying, I mean, they were teenagers, and at times I'm like, this is so awkward. Aren't they supposed to be like 16, 17? But it was out there. This show has to be smarter than CW. They can't just give us tits and ass and flashes of pecs. Like, if you're going to give us young hot bodies, give us young hot brains and stuff too.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be fate.
What's that, Byron? Sorry, I cut you off.
It could be worse. It could be fate.
Oh yeah. Two things. No, I forgot the second thing. So first thing, I don't know about you guys and your memories of high school, but my high school was way worse than anything that's been shown on Riverdale or any other show that purports to show raunchiness and sexuality in a high school environment. That stuff is mild.
But we were living that then. This is now us being adults watching what's supposedly kids having sex, and I'm like, oh, this just.
But see, what you're saying is that that's not right for me to see, as opposed to that's not right to be on the screen. It is an accurate, well, semi-accurate portrayal of the way teenagers handle sexuality, and handled it all the way back in the decades when I was a teenager.
Sure.
I agree with you completely. And so what I should say is I felt awkward as an adult being like, oh yeah, Archie's so sexy. I'm like, he's a child. Okay. Yes. Let me go watch some adult.
Banging his teacher and okay.
All that.
Rodney, out of curiosity, in your sex, drugs, and rock and roll filled high school, how many people were wearing super suits?
Well, no, this is a Riverdale comparison, not a boy spin-off comparison. And to my knowledge,
none.
Two, maybe? Anyway, none. Yes, as far as I know, none.
Yes. So to Gogo's point, I wasn't commenting on should Riverdale exist, should the boys spin-off exist. There's an audience for it. That's great. But I also feel a little squicky about watching people under 21 fictionalized, not actually having sex, simulated sex, whatever. I, as a very adult type person, find it not something I want to look at.
Yep. I would say, since they're in college, they're over 18, one would assume, and therefore, they are adults. They are not minors.
Yeah, I think it's like sort of whatever legal age. Just again, I don't know. And again, I actually really enjoyed Riverdale for a few seasons, even if I was like, oh wow, it's so different being an adult watching kids get the sexy on than it was being a kid.
My childhood.
Keeping my nose clean and going to Sunday school every week.
Exactly. Riverdale, you're ruining my childhood.
I can't relate to it because I was a social outcast with no friends.
Well, I mean, I wasn't in anything like any of the cliques in Riverdale by any stretch of the imagination. I was as a fat nerd kid, like I'm a fat nerd adult. But that doesn't mean I wasn't aware of what was happening. So,
does Riverdale have a clique of kids that are listening to a lot of Iron Maiden, playing hacky sack, and smoking pot outside the school?
Something close to it.
Actually. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I was in one of their cliques. Cool.
And I guess I might have been in Jughead's clique. The Brainiac, nerds.
The hamburger clique.
Yeah. Well, he's way more than that in Riverdale.
Oh, absolutely.
But anyway, sorry. What were we talking about again?
We were talking about the boys.
Spin-off of the boys.
Spin-off of the boys. Lumina says, "I'm in. I hope it has surprises and is not a Porky's rehash." I really don't think it could be. But think about that. Back in the 80s, if somebody, or 70s, I guess, if somebody had presented you a movie that was a absolute perfect mashup of Porky's and Friday the 13th, so violence, gore, murder, and sex, well, not drugs, but rock and roll, you would have been right there.
I would have watched the shit out of that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we watched Porky's, I think when we were probably like 11 or 12, and like sleepovers were everything, and somebody
must have snuck that one in.
Yes, yeah. Oh my
God! Scratchy old VHS copy.
Yeah, somebody's older brother would have a copy, and like we'd put one movie in and wait for the parents to go to sleep, and then and then watch it and be like, oh my gosh, boobies, as we're whatever.
I get such bad PTSD with that movie every time I think about the locker room scene.
Oh,
I can't even remember it. I just remember there were boobies, and that's a happy memory for me.
I'm just picturing all of you sitting there. One of you had to look over at the other. Goes, I don't get it. Why was he nicknamed Meat? What? I don't. What?
And you know what? Even as you were saying that, I was thinking of the scene in Bachelor Party where the guy has the tray and the hot dog bun.
Yeah, no. Okay. Now we're moving into non-monetization. So we're moving. So now we're really moving from the horrible.
That's a TV show that's going to happen.
Yeah, we're really moving from the horrible to the sublime. The news is that the amazing N.K. Jemisin is getting an adaptation. Did I skip over one? I must have things in slightly different order. I did. All right, so we're going to go to this one, then we'll jump back. The news is M.K. Jemisin's The Inheritance Trilogy is going to be developed as a series by Searchlight TV. Searchlight TV is the Fox Searchlight division, its new name, after the acquisition by Disney. So there's Disney money behind this. It doesn't say where it's going to land in, where you'll be able to watch it. My guess, if Searchlight is making it, it's going to be some sort of Disney-owned property. I would probably think Hulu, given the fact that they are probably going to keep the more mature, semi-adult nature of the book. Who is it?
Probably
Ashley, who said
rated R, but it'll probably be PG-13.
Yeah,
or the TV equivalent.
Yeah, well, no, Hulu does our stuff. No.
I think the property itself is not necessarily an R-rated property that they would have to, adapt down, so to speak, to get a certain rating. It's definitely not Disney or Disney Plus.
Yeah,
it's much more mature.
I think it was Ashley who said, when we posted this up, it's like, I really love that book, and then parenthetically, and didn't realize just how hot it was. It's like, okay.
Yep, that is her quote.
Yeah.
Yep.
My takeaway from this is that I'm praying that it doesn't share the same fate as Artemis Fowl, which had
God, please no.
Yeah, like a lot of interesting concepts that were thrown right out of the window with this with the release of the film. Like,
doesn't seem super likely. This trilogy is one of the biggest fantasy series of the last 5 or 8 years. It's won countless awards. It maybe doesn't have quite the same name recognition as Game of Thrones, but it's mentioned like a baby step down from there. The fact that Will and Jada Smith's production studio is on board in production capacity, I think, speaks to, hopefully keeping the wheels on the tracks. But yeah, you're right. I mean, everything, we don't need to rehash it because we did a whole thing about it a while ago, but Artemis Fowl was one of those properties that just got kicked around and nobody knew what to do with it. And it just turned into this god awful mishmash. I'm hopeful that's not the case, but I'm not concerned that it's likely to be.
Yeah. I think for the fact that it's landed at Searchlight, I think is probably an indication that Jemison and her agents really wanted to find somebody who wasn't going to mess around with it too much, to Disneyfy it, as it were. So it didn't go directly to Disney Studios or one of the others.
Josh Gad, far away from it.
Yes. I don't know. I don't know that there's a role for him in this because it's basically I was going to say Afrofuturist, but it's a fantasy. But I'm assuming that it's all going to be a black cast. Although I guess Josh Gad could be the token white guy in it.
Oh, but he could also not.
He could not.
Or not.
That is true.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that Johnny Depp is in it for something. Sorry, I couldn't even say that with a straight face. It's unfortunate that Ashley couldn't join us tonight because I think of our usual weekly crew, she's the only one who's read it and has a real passionate, speaks passionately about it. It's been on my bookshelf for a while. I think now that we're talking about this like this, I think I'll pull it off the bookshelf and actually crack the cover.
Same here.
I'm going to have to add that to my list of must listen tos for Audible now.
Yep. And I don't think this is actually the reason why Ashley isn't here tonight, but this is a good fake reason. Even though this is real, she actually is friends with N.K. Jemisin enough to call her by her real first name. So she said, "I'm not recusing myself, but just putting that out there." Like, oh, good for you.
Okay.
Before we jump into the next topic, or into the next topic for you people, IDNOK or IDKK, what anime do you all think is the best? I don't think that we could possibly answer that, and certainly not on this show because it's not on a topic, even though it is sort of tangential because we've talked about some anime up to this point. Go to myanimelist.net and search for FPS_Nerd That's my personal MAL list. And you'll see what I've ranked as number 10 as 10 out of 10s on there. So that'll give you an idea of what I think are some of the best that have ever been made.
So organized, Rodney. You're like the most organized nerd ever.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I've been aware of my anime list forever, and I just never felt the need to do it. And then once I got into it, I almost stopped because I realized just how much anime I've watched since when I started doing cosplay photography. Only because I needed to know what it was I was taking pictures of. And then got hooked, and now it's, I think, 462 series or something insane like that. Anyway, moving on. That right there is Kingsley Ben-Adir in One Night in Miami playing Malcolm X. The news is that Kingsley Ben-Adir will be one of the leads in the upcoming Marvel Disney Plus series Secret Invasion, against, of course, Samuel L. Jackson as Fury and Ben Mendelsohn as the Skrull Talos. According to Deadline, and this has not been confirmed by Marvel, who declined to comment, he will be playing a villain, the villain, which has me confused. Well, Secret Invasion has me confused. So from the comic book, Secret Invasion is about secret invasion of pretty much every level of anything on Earth by Skrulls. In the MCU, Skrulls are the very, very put upon, hunted down good guys.
They're a rogue faction?
Maybe a rogue faction. Maybe they're flipping it, and the actual invaders are the Kree. because the Kree we know from Marvel and so on can, they can hide the blue skin and appear as perfectly as normal humans.
Yes.
Or maybe they're going to do a heel turn, and maybe the Skrulls really are the bad guys. I don't know. This makes me even more interested in what this series is going to do now that we know that there is a lead villain, and he's an amazing actor. I had no idea. I haven't seen One Night in Miami yet. He was in the series The OA, which is one of the most bizarre, freaky things you can watch on Hulu. Definitely speculative fiction. I don't think you'd call it science fiction. Peaky Blinders, the TV adaptation of High Fidelity. This guy's got, chops. So, looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Secret Invasion anyway, of course. But,
Well, yeah.
and of course, I got to go watch One Night in Miami.
That's been on my watch list for a bit.
Now we get into our last two topics, and they're kind of combined, but I'll start with the first one. And the reason I'm saying they're kind of combined is just in the last couple of days, the final trailers for the two huge things that are dropping this week were released. Thursday is, of course, the Snyder Cut 4-hour-long Justice League, which is already getting pretty rave reviews.
I've heard mixed reviews on it.
I've seen mostly positive to raves. I don't think I've seen anything that's been negative yet. But then again, that's a good call. Somebody's noted that there's people out there who aren't in love with it. And of course, on Friday we get the first episode, probably the first two if they're going to do the standard like they did with WandaVision, episodes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And so they both dropped trailers. The first one is the Snyder Cut trailer. That's the first one we're going to be talking about. That's why there's a cyborg up there. The new trailer didn't add anything much that I could tell, except we really get more of a sense that that Superman comes back more immediately as a hero, and the black suit is more like the black suit as it was meant for in the return of all the Supermans, I guess. I don't know. After the death of Superman. And so there's a reason for the black suit, other than, oh, look, it's evil Superman. That's really the only difference that we get to see. That's made much more of an implication that that's what's going on. That could be a good trailer dodge. And in fact, there really is a great Soups Goes Bad moment. Which is going to be better than what happened in Justice League anyway. So, did anybody see it, and did anybody take anything further out of this final, trailer that makes them less excited, more excited, or didn't matter?
I'm just kind of like freaking out from the length of the movie. 4 hours, like Jesus.
Yeah.
Do I really have that space? Well, I kind of do, but still, 4 hours.
Yeah, I get that stamina because my bathroom's like 3 doors that way. So, no.
I don't really have much to comment on this. This does nothing for me. I don't have any interest in watching it. Cool if you do. If you think it's going to be great, have at it. Carve out an entire weekend.
Fan of Zack Snyder?
Not a huge fan of Zack Snyder. Could not stand Justice League. I made it through about a third of it and wanted to claw my eyes out. Maybe this will be better. I don't know.
I'm looking forward to it in that. According to the stats that I've read, about 70% of Justice League was Whedon's reshoots, where they abandoned literally hours worth of stuff that Snyder had already shot and had not yet got to cutting down, which obviously now with this he didn't cut down any of it because he didn't need to. So it is supposedly while the basic threads of the story are the same, it's a completely tonally different movie. And I really hated Justice League. So
I hated it too.
yeah, it was a bad movie. And
I didn't love it, but it was like there are parts that were fine.
There were scenes that were fine. That's the way I view it. There were scenes that were fine in a sea of really bad choices, decisions, and so on.
Oh yeah, that exactly.
And I'm looking forward to seeing what, because what we got was nothing like what Snyder had envisioned. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Snyder's vision is. And I agree, I'm not a huge fan of Snyder as a director. I think Man of Steel, aside from the tone of violence that he ultimately took at the end, was probably the least Snyder thing he's ever done, and was pretty good. I liked Man of Steel quite a bit.
Don't get me started on Watchmen.
I like Watchmen. It had some problems, but anyway, whether you like Snyder or not is pretty much why, or whether or not you're going to watch this movie, or whether or not you have an HBO Max subscription, because that's the only place you see it.
Also that helps, and it's not speaking personally, it's not enough of it's not attractive enough for me to sign up and pay the top dollar.
Right.
Obviously their catalog is very deep and lots of great stuff, but this isn't going to entice me.
Yeah, I mean, Lovecraft Country, I can't think of the Wolf, the Raised by Wolves. There was enough innovative new nerd stuff right out the gate at HBO Max that I kind of had to have it.
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn. Well, that was initially DC. So, yes, it's been rolled into HBO Max like everything is. Harry, welcome to the show. As always, right on time. Anyway, our last topic.
Since you cut over to that, I want to throw back to a comment that Luminous made talking about the Boys spinoff, which I think is absolutely spot on and captures what I would love to see. He said, "I'd be happy if it's a Fast Times at Ridgemont High with superpowers." Because that was for a teen sex romp from the 80s. That was a smart movie. It told stories that were compelling, and it wasn't just kind of semi-naked people sort of pretending to have sex with each other. It was funny. It was trenchant. It was of the time. If you could capture that same, obviously not Fast Times. Please don't put Sean Penn in this for any reason whatsoever. But if you could get that same kind of, storytelling, etc., with superpowers, I think it could be an awesome show.
So let's hope it's a mix of Fast Times at Ridgemont High's sex romp with character-driven storytelling, and Heather's violence and gore with character-driven storytelling. Wouldn't that be awesome?
There we go. That's a sweet spot right there.
Maybe with a soupçon of Clueless's so dumb it's actually not dumb. It's very trenchant and very funny.
Yeah, I'm right. I'm 100% with that. Crocodile Jaws 83. I'm not excited about the Snyder Cut enough to pay for HBO Max, or really excited about it at all. You are in agreement with most of this group. I'm one of the few who's pretty excited for this. I think we're all excited for this. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Friday, after 1 week off. And by the way, if you haven't seen the behind the scenes, the Assembled show, which is a 1 hour behind the scenes of how they made WandaVision, it's really good. A lot of the stuff is really fun. It's really interesting to see how good actors Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen are, because when you see the two of them interviewed together, you realize there really isn't any personal chemistry between them whatsoever. And it's kind of funny to watch, because they sell it so hard. And the Catherine Hahn stuff is just, watch it for that. Kepra is excited for the Snyder Cut. Yes, thank you for joining me, Kepra. Anyway, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, folks, that trailer dropped, final trailer. We get a lot more about the legacy of Captain America and how it's affecting this show and the people in the show going forward, which means we also get a little bit more of a sense of how the John Walker version of Captain America came about. The fact that it looks like even Falcon realized there needed to be a Captain America and he didn't think he was ready for it. So is kind of accepting of the fact that, this other guy in a modern version of the super soldier serum, John Walker, is the new Captain America. We also get to see, and this is a big speculation, that apparently in one of the fight scenes, one of the members of the Flag Smashers seems to have abilities. Does athletic stuff, stopping attacks in a way that Black Panther might, a normal human could not do. And that's, of course, led to a ton of speculation out there. It's like, oh, God, stop with the speculation. WandaVision ruined that for me. But that, how do these people get powers? Why are they powered? They're not powered in the comic books. Are they the M word mutants? Paul Bettany, Fake Button, episode 1 is the best part of the behind the scenes. I forgot about that, Crocodile Jaws. Yes. He stands up at one point and turns around and hits himself in the cheeks, and it's not, it's not that. It's, where's that. Hard plastic. It's pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
I
it's
haven't
hilarious.
watched it yet, but I can't wait to.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I've been sort of waiting, like a little dessert that you're kind of like, I'm going to come back to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it. One of the other speculations, this is, Feige, God damn you, you shouldn't have said this. He has said that even at this point, while there are no plans for a second season of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, there are certainly ideas. But he has said that this will connect directly to at least 3 upcoming MCU properties. And of course, he's not going to tell us how or why. I'm trying to think I guess that was the one big thing. So now we are left with, or I'm left with, of course, speculating, do they introduce a new villain? Oh, here's the one thing. He did say that in this series, we will get the first payoff with the Fox acquisition because they mention a location. That's the word he uses, a location that they weren't allowed to mention prior to the Fox purchase.
Latveria.
So
Latveria.
I didn't even think about that. So I'm thinking X-Men, Xavier's School for the Gifted. They couldn't use that term or anything remote, the name or anything remotely related to it. Fantastic Four, the Baxter Building. Even if they just drop the name of the Baxter Building. Latveria, good point. Sokovia, can't be too far away from Latveria, right?
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
And Zemo, Helmut Zemo is from Sokovia.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, if you wanted to tie in the espionage of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier stuff with the magic of WandaVision, Doctor Doom would be about the best thing you could possibly think of.
Well, that'd be exciting.
Yeah. So, see, this is it. I just, now all of these things, Atlantis, because Namor is a Fantastic Four property, they were not allowed to use Atlantis in the context of Namor, of an undersea city. Even though they've hinted at it.
And he's a mutant, so...
Or mutants, with the X-Men and the X-Mansion or whatever, yeah.
Well, no, Namor is a mutant.
Oh,
so...
well, that's true. Namor is a mutant. Good point. But that's just it. Now that he said this, I'm back into WandaVision mode. Does this mean this? Could this mean this?
I gotta get my chart ready for the next
Get
next
my
week.
Charlie Day lines and scribbles and stuff on the.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yep.
Exactly what I was thinking. I was about to say, like, you're the Charlie meme come to life.
Literally.
It's almost like they're doing it to make people talk about their stuff and want to see more other stuff.
Honestly, even though I call the Evan Peters and Crocodile Jaws 83, just give me back Evan Peters, I'm going to stop myself right there. Greg, is that a reference that we should not make?
What?
Never mind then. We shouldn't make it.
Never
Okay.
mind.
So Greg.
Sorry, so two of us on this show have not watched WandaVision yet.
Yes. So we will not make that reference.
Thank you. I could
What
just
are
go.
you doing?
Exactly. What are you doing? Go watch this show. Anyway, so yeah. Did anybody else take anything away from this trailer other than, insane conspiracy theories like me?
I'm okay. Like WandaVision, I just let it roll. So, Rodney, you and I were very different in how we felt at the end, and I think that's because a lot of these characters were newer to me, and so I'm just like, let's just see how this goes. Whereas you have a really long history with them, and so you have feelings about the way that they trolled the audience and how things seemed like it was going to be this, and then they're just like, nah, son. I don't have that because I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah.
So, but I really love Anthony Mackie, and so therefore I fell in love with the Falcon. So I'm very excited for this, and I am disappointed. My big thing that I'd said about WandaVision is that it felt so short. Like I wanted them to give us more. And here we are only going to have 6 episodes, they said.
But they have called this 6 hours, so it looks like these are going to be longer episodes.
Thank goodness, that we can actually get into the real meat of something. And we had not to get off topic because we totally talked about why the sitcom-y ones in WandaVision were sitcom length. I totally get it, but again, it's like I'm just waiting for this deliciousness, and it's like they're I don't want them just giving me an amuse-bouche. Like, give me the full steakhouse. I don't know. I'm lost on my
No, I love that. I love that comparison. That's perfect. Excellent. Thank you. Luminous blue area. Except we got the blue area in the wonderful award-winning Inhumans series. I'm sorry. I meant awful. Execrable garbage Inhuman series. So that's already been mentioned, even though they didn't call it that. And Kepra says, Greg, you're grounded.
Fair.
It's fair.
I've actually been trying to leave the house on occasion and do things that aren't just staring at a screen.
That's a good point. Aren't we all grounded?
Yeah. I'm very grounded.
All right. Anybody wrapping up on Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I got a very strong Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. vibe from the whole sitting in the hangar of an airplane.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna
apropos of nothing.
I'm gonna do a quick flex here. I'm gonna watch the first episode tonight because I got access to it.
Yeah. I still haven't gotten my approval. God damn it. So don't spoil. Of course, because you haven't. You've had some early stuff up before this.
I can't spoil it.
Yeah, or you would be drummed out of the organization. Crocodile Jaws reports are the first episode is 48 minutes, and Unconfirmed Reports has episode 2 as 54 minutes. Again, making the note, this is not confirmed. That would make sense. I would buy that. Yeah, so I'm jealous of you, Byron, but enjoy it. Certainly share your general positive or negative opinion, but I know you won't spoil it. All right, folks, that's it for the show. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, not if you still want to be friends. Yeah. No.
Yeah, exactly. I have unfriended people for spoilers.
Exactly.
So that's it for our show. Does anybody have a could we please, could we not?
I'm just gonna say, we have a new exciting thing coming. We just said, like, well, exactly what we were just talking about. Like, it was so hard to watch WandaVision not at Thursday at midnight. You wanted to wait for the weekend to make it a weekend thing because people would just spoil it everywhere. They're like, oh, it's been an hour. It's rude. Nobody wants that. You're not an edgelord. You're a poopy butt.
I do have a could we please? Could we please get more more story to the caliber of Raya and the Last Dragon? Because it just hits so many it hits so many notes that in Disney films that need to be hit. And it's a great story about forgiveness and
so I get it. Thank you. Put it in writing.
Yep.
Speaking of which, what are we doing Thursday night, Rodney?
So Thursday night, we are talking about Raya and the Last Dragon in our full fat spoiler chat. So that's my promo at the end, but I'll do that now before I get to my could we please, could we not. Thursday night, 8 o'clock, full fat spoiler chat. We'll be talking about Raya and the Last Dragon with full spoilers in effect. So if you've seen it, or if you don't mind spoilers, if you don't mind it being spoiled all to hell and gone, come watch it. We generally talk about things that we liked, didn't like, how things worked or didn't work, themes, messages in the show, whether they actually pulled them off, tone, things like that. So Thursday night, all of these social medias, check it out. Good night, Kepra. See you later. It was great having you on the show, and Smooch is back. My could we please hurry up with the vaccination stuff? This is 100% selfish. I want to go see Mugen Train, and then literally 2 weeks later, I want to go see Black Widow in theaters. I want to see these movies in theaters. Please, please, government, get more vaccines out so that we can all get them. Please, states that can do it, do what Utah? No, Minnesota? Anyway, one state literally just opened it up. They have enough vaccines, apparently, to anybody over the age of 16. Anybody. Doesn't matter if you're in any particular group. So, please, for 100% selfish reasons, like I said about the comorbidities, and I'm 60 years old, I don't want to go to a movie and die. I want to go to a movie and enjoy it. So...
yeah, maybe you can just sprinkle it on your popcorn.
Get like the vodka shooters, that Kayla and Elena had. Just
there you go. My could we please is pretty much an echo of that. Could we please remember we're at the 2-yard line with 3.5 minutes left in the Super Bowl. If I can use a sports analogy.
And
here.
Somebody's got to throw that free throw, and no, I'm sorry, I'm mixing them up. Anyway,
hopefully it's so several of us in New England will say Tom Brady finds a way to get it in the right person's hands, and then we win the game, because nobody wants an interception in the end zone right now, and we all get sick 8 minutes before the vaccine is readily available for people. So. I hate it. I hate being stuck in the house most of the time. I hate wearing a mask, same as everyone else does. But for God's sakes, just do it. I'm not one to preach to people or to try to badger people into doing things. It's not my nature. But God damn it, I mean, yeah. Anyway. I think seeing shots of seeing shots of spring break in Texas and Florida is so infuriating that any sense of propriety towards my fellow human being who doesn't have enough common sense or respect for their other fellow human beings just gone.
Yep. But mine left last March. So, all right. So going around, we'll start again with Greg. Goodbyes and good plugs if you've got them.
Here we go. Good night, everybody. Greg Snyder, a.k.a. Wonder Llama. If you are around the greater Boston area, check out Red Raven Studios. That is our photography and videography studio. We make sets, we make props, we make filming stuff. We make we collaborate with people and make cool photos of stuff.
Check it out, folks. It's really cool. Cool stuff. Mr. Byron.
Byron McNeil, Byron D0. I'm gonna plug my artist Instagram, which I update regularly. It's BDZero art on Instagram. I post a lot of fan art, a lot of digital stuff. It's fun. Check it out.
Cool. No NFTs yet, I hope. And Kepler. I was just looking at Kepler saying goodbye. Go.
Hi, bye everyone. I'm Gogo. I'm going to try to do this without making too many squeaking noises, but again, I'm in a calendar. I'm January girl, which means you can just save it when it's over, and then you've got this great pin-up of me. If you want it signed, or if you don't want it signed, hit me up on Instagram. That's gogo_incognito, and I will, well, you can buy it from me and I'll ship it to you. I mean, I'll ship it anywhere.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know,
calendar, me, Gogo. Let's do it.
In the contiguous North American continent, in case somebody from Sokovia decides they want it.
If they want to pay for the shipping, I will send it. If it's in the States, then shipping is included, and the price is $15.
Awesome.
Which is what the magazine charges. So
very cool.
And what you can't quite see from the somewhat distant webcam shot of that is that Gogo does a burlesque version of the TARDIS from Doctor Who.
Among many other wonderful
Among many other
things,
but this particular photo is the TARDIS.
So, folks, awesome. As we're saying goodbye here, right there, that's our Patreon, patreon.com/nerdcaliber. If you want to support us, that's one of the places to go. We've recently started actually receiving, thank you to everybody who's ever done this, donations on our YouTube chats, which is like shocking to me, but wonderful. Thank you very much. But the easy way is patreon.com. There are two tiers, like $2 and $5. And hopefully when we get back to cons, we'll take that money and start producing good content for you. Continue to producing excellent content for you. And the next piece of content here on YouTube and our other social media, you can see, like we mentioned, Thursday, 8 p.m., full fat spoiler chat, Raya and the Last Dragon. Be there or be somewhere else because you don't like spoilers. We'll see you next week, folks. Have a safe weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Masks,
Thank you.